So I will be asking you for
Another one today?
a report.
A report?
Yeah, there's the agenda.
There's nothing to report.
I beg your pardon?
See the video.
That's not acceptable. All set.
Oh, fuck.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm opening this meeting. John, have a
May I?
seat. Have a seat, please. Okay, one more time. One more time with feeling. I open this meeting as the second public hearing regarding the zoning amendments proposed by the planning board for approval by the select board and presented as warrants at the vote to the voters at the town meeting on March the 12th. The purpose of this public hearing is to permit the planning board to hear the public's comments regarding the amendments, in particular amendment number 7, which deals with parking spaces, paving, lining, and delineation. At the conclusion of the public hearing portion of today's meeting, the planning board may determine that it has sufficient information to close the public hearing on zoning amendments, or the planning board may determine that the public hearing will be tabled and continued until a date certain. Those present and those on video have probably heard the public hearing rules and procedures previously. To proceed directly to the business at hand, I won't repeat them today. Okay, well, there's nobody here, so I'm not going to address any more of this.
I'm sorry.
You know, here to welcome
at
the
this
public, but the
juncture-
public's not here. So I would like to ask Liz to give us some further information on, oh, look, a hand is waving.
Roll call, please.
Oh, yeah, it's right there. I have it on my prepared sheet. Yes. All right,
Procedure,
I know.
and you,
Roll call. Are we ready?
Margaret Turner, alternate.
Rob Wilson, member.
John Panicella, alternate.
Bill Spence, member.
Brennan member.
Morgan Dean member.
John Racine, member.
Rich Rita, select board ex officio.
Mike Coppell, member.
Yes, see him.
Nancy Knight, alternate.
Welcome.
Hi, Nance.
Hey,
These video people, you know, they're just as important.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have sufficient.
You can seat one.
We have 6 members.
We have,
Yes.
yeah, we needed them to be seated exactly here. Yes, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need and an ex officio, but I need one more. Margaret, would you like to be seated?
Sure.
All right, so that concludes the roll call. Now, the business at hand. We're here to talk about one particular amendment to the zoning ordinance that was prepared and ready to go to the select board. A member of the public objected, and we've had some feedback. And it has caused the planning board to reevaluate. And the information that we worked on is in the hands of Liz Emerson.
Yes.
So I will turn the floor to you, Liz, and tell us the findings.
Sure. So as you said, the public was concerned that existing parking lots would need to be lined in order to come in conformance, so that a legal non-conforming clause, which everyone refers to it as a grandfathering clause, would be added to the parking amendment. So going through the changes, it would, if it's approved at town meeting, it would require new parking area, open parking areas for multifamily and commercial uses to be delineated on top of the pre-existing regulations, which is also paving. It would allow for existing parking areas to keep operating as they are, even if they don't meet today's regulations, unless it's modified by more than 25%, such as being increased, reduced, expanded, rearranged. And then if it is, it would need to meet these current regulations. If the existing parking is going to be used to meet parking requirements for a new or expanded development. That parking area will need to then comply with the new regulations. And this would exclude normal upkeep, like patching, repainting. Those wouldn't count towards the 25% modification. And that's all the changes. That's what would happen. So, it would require open parking areas for multifamily and commercial to be paved and lined. And then it also adds that exemption unless there's 25% modification or there's a change in use of that parking lot for new or expanded uses.
Okay, so then if you were a condominium with more than two, and you need to pave in line.
If you have 3 units, it would need to be paved and lined. Yep.
Okay, and then if you're a commercial operator.
Mhm.
And any change that occurs that involves more than 25% or change of use.
Mhm.
That is another application.
Mhm.
Then you need to be paved and lined.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
As if you were here, yes.
As if I was there. Now, I understand parking lot, but does that apply to a large driveway, for example?
It excludes, 1 or a 2-family residential unit. So a single family, would be excluded, or a duplex would also be excluded and doesn't need to be paved, lined, and signed.
So I live in a triplex,
Mhm.
all right? So my driveway would have to be lined?
If you were to either change the use of the property, or if you were to expand or change the current driveway, more than 25%, then yes, it would need to conform to these regulations. But if you are not changing it, then it would be exempt.
Okay, another hand is up. Does that satisfy you, Mike?
I guess so, but I'm just, my brain has got 8 days worth of hospital bang through it.
All right,
What if I sell it?
Nope, it would still be,
So the grandfathering would follow it even if sold?
yes,
point
Okay,
of order.
My point of order, Mr. Chair, is the public hearing open? Has the public been asked any questions? Have you closed the public hearing before the planning board decides to discuss this issue in detail?
I wanted to give an opening to,
Yes,
discuss it, but since there is no public,
So we
then
close-
your point of order is that I could close the public
Yes,
hearing.
sir. Okay, we can have our discussion.
All right, I
For
hereby,
the record.
for the record, I hereby close the public hearing since there is no public. And now, no public here, there could be public on YouTube.
Yes.
But as far as this meeting is concerned, from the point of view of looking at the gallery that is empty, I hereby close the public hearing. Is that satisfactory?
Yes, sir.
All right, now we continue the discussion. Is there any other comment about what the parking regulation amendment as it stands now, as explained by our planning consultant, what it means?
Does this affect anybody at this point?
if the planning board approves it today to go forward to the select board. And if it passes at the March town vote, the effective date could be today. If the planning board is to send it forward, it would be effective today.
All right, we're obviously attempting to implement this through a public vote. Who will be affected by it? Obviously, it appears unless somebody changes their lot size by 25%
Yep.
or change of use,
Yep. It would-
everybody's grandfathered
Yes, currently, yep. Everyone, it affects nothing unless there's a change from here on out.
on change of use.
Change of use or change of parking layout by 25%, either a reduction or addition. Add additional uses added to it.
So in effect, I guess my question is, does this affect the Tyrell Corporation application?
Currently, no. but, that we can talk about at the public hearing.
I hear you, Rob.
So if you repave, is that,
That's exempt, that would
Okay.
be normal, regular routine maintenance.
Any other comment?
I have a question.
Question?
So I'm struggling to understand how we got here. I thought this was first developed as a clarification of an implied
Delineation.
delineation. And we've somehow morphed into grandfathering and changing, I think what the actual changes to zoning. So I'm wondering how we got, or why we got from A to B.
Yep.
And that begs the earlier question is, why didn't the earlier planning board, which clearly set up parking spaces, why did they not have anything delineated? Have we researched that? I mean, I'm worried about unintended consequences, because I don't know what their reasoning was.
Yep.
So I'm not sure,
So I would have,
going forward.
Yep.
To making changes, and
Yep.
finally, what happens if this fails?
if it fails, the current regulations would rule, where it doesn't specifically say delineation, the planning board on any application could make it a condition that the parking has to be delineated. But that would have to be a condition. As to when it was first adopted, I would have to do some research and then look for the planning board minutes.
Right.
I don't know when it was adopted.
Right.
So annual reports first, find the year, then find the planning board minutes to
Yeah.
see what their discussions were. And the grandfathering clause came into play because there was public pushback at the last meeting. And they said, well, no, we wouldn't vote for it if there's no allowance for existing parking to remain as it is now. So the board brought up the idea of adding a grandfathering clause. But also still having some protections so that if it's modified by 25% or more, then they would have to comply with the regulations.
But we could, on any new development, make as a condition of approval that the lot be paved in line.
You make that a condition on any site plan application or subdivision application that comes
Now.
before you guys.
like you just.
Or you could add that
Just did.
clause into this amendment that we're talking about today. That is, the
It's
amendment,
already-
the amendment's not fixed. What Liz said is a proposal.
Mhm.
If any of us have ideas that you want included in this, say so now.
Well, then we would also need to have another public hearing if it's
Yes.
changed significantly.
Yep.
I just feel like this clarifies what we want to do for parking spaces. I think the pushback too had to do with that it's currently not enforced. So I think that there could be some pushback from, if you don't specifically say it, I think it protects the town from future and the planning board from having to, put it again as a condition of approval, and then it protects the town. If you're gonna build another building on a lot or whatever, okay, well, then you have to comply. It has to be paved and lined. I just think it clarifies a little bit
What is not enforced?
better. But,
What is not enforced?
well, there's a lot of parking lots in town that are not paved and lined.
Right, which
Are
is
there?
implied in the
But-
site plan regs and zoning ordinance that it should be lined so that you can see a space. But because it doesn't specifically say that it needs to be lined,
I just think,
that's where.
That gets
the
back to my
argument
original
could be.
question of why this obvious point was not handled by the planning board back then, or did they, and decide not to do it for some reason, which I don't know what that is, but are there unpaved parking lots in town?
That aren't mine. It's right down here.
Which one?
The one that we all park in is not.
That's town
exempt.
property. It's not subject to zoning.
Okay.
well,
How about the Snowy Owl lot?
Snowy
Is that-
owl lot.
Is that
lots.
unpaved or is that,
Well, it is, I would call it semi-paved.
but that it's already
Yeah,
required
it
to
has
be paved.
degraded to
Once
such an
paved.
extent.
So,
yeah.
no, the point is, it's already required to be paved. If the select board should be the one saying you're supposed to be paved. paved. It's already there.
Okay.
So that's an enforcement issue, not the purview of the planning board.
Would they lie too?
No,
that's
because
what
we
we're
don't
saying today.
require any
Saying-
delineation.
Because I have to say, you know, you go in to where the ice arena is, and I look at that straight line and people just cannot park. Like they put 5 feet between them and the other car, and you could get so many more cars in there if you would just. Park in the like, you know.
And all the spaces across the street from the parking lot,
Even that, yeah.
they're not paved. They're all dirt.
Well, there's the one big dirt area. That,
Several big dirt areas. Going down towards, starting across from the arena and going
Yeah.
down all the way to where the skate park is and beyond.
yeah, that
all
area,
dirt.
is unpaved, but. The point I'm trying to make is, it should be paved. It's already in there that it should be paved. There are no changes that need to be made to the plant, to the zoning ordinance. That's a select board enforcement issue.
Which is driven by.
What about line?
Enforcement issues are driven by. complaints.
And
So
enforcement
those
issues, well, I'm sorry, I left that out. Enforcement issues were driven by complaints. So someone have to come to the select board and complain that there's a zoning ordinance violation, that this portion of the parking lot is not paved. That's already there. There's no need for clarification
I'm paving.
on paving. So I don't see the enforcement. All I'm saying is it's not an enforcement issue because we do not require delineation.
You know,
That's
But-
what we're
but
seeing,
this-
but we would like to require.
if this were voted and approved today, then you would require delineation. I think that's a step forward, an improvement in parking regulation.
I guess I don't
But
fully
that's-
understand what, I guess it's not an objection, but what the discussion is geared toward.
I'm just concerned, why wasn't this obvious point previously dealt with? It probably was, but the question is in what way? That's what concerns me. And then if it fails, does it weaken the zoning as it is in terms of our understanding that we have those implied in here? The town turns it down. If someone brings the town to court for a delineation issue, if we say it's implied, someone could point to the town vote that said, well, it failed, and they try to delineate. I kind of unintended consequence that I'm concerned
If
about
the
here.
town shoots it down, then the planning board may lose its grip on enforcement of.
The implied. That's the best thing.
We
Well,
would always
but
make it a
the people
condition.
voted and that's what they wanted.
Well,
Somebody asked a question about what lots are not paved. And I think the biggest lot in town that's not paved is the BBTS lot.
So that'll like warm up.
But again, that's already covered by zoning. No one has complained to the select board of that. It's in violation. Not the issue of paving. I just
Okay.
heard, I was triggered on enforcement.
Well, I understand all of this, but no, I still think that it's a step forward to do this particular change. Dave, I understand. Dave here, does Dave has his hand? I see your hand, Dave.
My question is, I understand the zoning, but I believe the construction or the approvals of all these buildings and lots predates the zoning. And so I don't see how we can retroactively go back and make these people pave their lots. That's
Yeah.
where I struggle with.
You can't. Right.
You can't.
That's
You
the
cannot, it's
grandfather.
grandfathered.
Well, it's. yeah, If
Unless,
someone were to complain, then that would be the answer.
okay, but I'm trying to answer Dave's question. That is, it's this term grandfather, which no, I don't like very much, but if it's grandfathered, that means that we're not going to force anybody to change a lot that is pre-existing. But if they change it by 25% or more, or they change the application, then the manner in which it's being used. In other words, something significant happens, then we could say to them, you have to comply with the new regulation. Does that make sense to you, Dave?
Yes, I'm very much comfortable with having to do that. We do that all the time with fire code. you do a renovation, it meets a certain threshold, you then have to upgrade to the current code. It's very similar. We can apply that same logic to the zoning. My concern is all the existing lots having to force all of these other entities to then pave and stripe everything that's out there. I understand anything that's new, it's going to be required to do that, and then any renovations that whatever you decide is the threshold, but it gives me some guidelines
Yes.
to work by.
With respect to enforcement, if BBTS doesn't change anything in their parking lot, that's significant, 25%. We have nothing to say to them.
Correct.
The planning board has nothing to say to them anyway.
Fine. I say we,
So
all right, then say
Yeah.
you
Right.
have nothing to say to them.
But that's the situation now. Again, I'm just struggling with why we're making this change and opening up potential issue if it fails. It seems to me we have the ability now to put this in as a condition, which we do. Why do we need to run the potential risk of a court challenge if this fails? That's the question I'm asking.
How often does the select board get taken to court for these things?
But not my tenure. I don't think you can take it.
I mean, I can.
But only one time.
I can tell you that an attorney's already reached out to me in regard to the ADU amendment.
Yeah.
And I meant to respond to them, just letting them know that we've been talking about these amendments since July. And then in previous meetings, that's why at the public hearing, it was stated that that board selected 950 square feet as the maximum, in line with the state law. And the attorney was implying that the board was misinformed. So I had to clarify, I said, we've been talking about this since July, and in previous meetings, we all talked about a size restriction. And 950 is what we came up at, so at the public hearing, 950 is what we went with. And the voters can vote on it. So yeah,
So what was the attorney's issue?
so I guess one of their clients, has an approved building permit. And I've sent out an email to the attorney asking, well, when was it approved?
Yeah.
Because if it was prior to our public hearing, then it would be illegal non-conforming use. So I'm waiting to hear back on when it was approved.
But-
It could be a non-issue.
Right.
But the point that the attorney wouldn't have bothered to do this unless
greater than 950.
unless the client wants to build something bigger than 950.
Which is what I guess the proposal is, but the attorney stated that they have an approved permit. So, I mean, our first public hearing was what, 2 weeks ago?
11th December.
Yeah, so if it was approved prior then it's a non-issue. But to the point of, well, where would this argument, of this type come up? Well, we already have one. There's no litigation being proposed at this time, but we've already had an attorney reach out about one of the amendments. So to Rich's point is, if the town were to vote it down and the planning board puts it on as a condition, it kind of loses power. Because the town's like, no, we don't want to force people to build any of the parking spaces. Because, and then the planning board wouldn't have the power to be like, okay, well, we'll put it as a condition. Town does, the town said they don't want it. It could be argued.
You're good at explaining things.
They really are.
No,
Yes, yes.
No, that's very good. Thank you.
All right, so
Anyway,
then, okay, John has his hand up.
So this is a question for Richard.
Uh-oh.
And I'm
Well,
not,
Richard?
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good.
and I'm not sure if I should come to the planning board for this, or if it's appropriate in here, so stop me when you feel I should stop. It's in regards to the enforcement issue.
Yeah,
Why, I'm not clear on this. If we have an enforcement issue, why is it up to the public or somebody to complain about it? before you'll do anything about it?
Enforcement is a complaint driven business.
I'm not
What you
clear.
said.
Elaborate a little more, please. Because
So,
I'm John Q. Public right now. I
Yeah.
don't quite get it.
so, there's never enough time to just be driving around to look for violations. So the state, NHMA, they recommend, to use it's a complaint driven business as the caveat for enforcement, because nobody's going to be looking for violations. And then if somebody is to find one violation but knows of another one and doesn't go after this one, but goes after this one, that could be contentious. So that's why it's a complaint driven business. A complaint has to come in order for enforcement to start.
And the complaint has to come in from,
Any resident or anyone who's visiting the town.
and even if someone works for the town, DPW or somebody else.
Someone on the select one.
Yeah,
Or-
the answer is simple, anyone.
Anyone can be, yeah. select
You could,
board.
you could have a foreign visitor in town saying, I'm gonna complain about this.
Okay,
Yeah,
Still a
and then
complaint.
once a complaint comes through, if it's one person,
it still has to be investigated.
Yeah.
and you will, as a planning board member, not
A select board member.
Select board.
a select board member, you would have to follow up on it.
Yes, and we have a code enforcement office, and that office is Chief Noyes and Jim.
Yeah.
They follow up on any code enforcement violations or investigations, see if there is a violation.
Okay, that helps to make it clear for myself and probably other folks that are.
Right.
And might I add, it doesn't always have to be a complaint. We do find, we do see things and try to address those, but we're not always looking for that sort of stuff, nor do we have the perspective that, you know, neighbors and other commercial entities have, you know, so we do rely a lot on complaints, but not solely on complaints. We will be proactive for the obvious things when we do see them. But again, we can't be everywhere. We can't see everything. So it is very much 85% complaint driven.
Okay,
And just for the record, I think that it's safe in saying, Chief, that we're not talking light safety here. We're very proactive on light safety. We're not waiting for a violation before we do something. We're talking about a zoning.
Yeah, all zoning. I'm just talking zoning.
Now, there is this problem and a discussion on the floor concerning whether we should oh, Mike, excuse me. I'll have to do this later. Mike, go
No, I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'm sorry, am I muted?
No, you're on.
All right, I want to go back to the, that's just my medication going off. Let's go back to the question of where the attorney asked you about building the, a unit. And if it's, let's suppose that the town turns down our zoning amendment regarding that. This person then comes forward and could sue us in court because we're not following state law?
No, so the state law, even if our zoning ordinance doesn't reflect the current state law, the state law would overrule the local zoning ordinance. So if somebody wanted to propose, a unit, an accessory dwelling unit larger than 950 square feet, they wouldn't be able to. Because that's what the state law allows for.
Okay. Thank you.
I will continue now with the question of this is the problem that's before us now. So we say it's on the floor. Would the planning board be taking the right move by going forward with this amendment, given the objection that has been raised about the possibility that if this amendment is turned down at town meeting, that it reduces our ability to enforce the existing parking regulation.
I've got to make 2 points. I'm not objecting, I'm cautioning. If I can just be a little bit more precise there.
Well, we either vote for this or we don't.
Right, well, we haven't gotten there.
Well,
But
no, but you can't tell me that you want to caution it. Because what you're telling me is that
I
you're,
won't argue so much.
that you're against it. I want to know what the rest of the board thinks, so that we can then take a vote on this
Okay.
and move on.
The second, actually, more important point is, I would simply say it potentially damages our ability to lay a condition on a site plan. That's the real concern.
I hear you.
That's a little different from, I think, what you said.
Okay, but up until now, you hadn't said that.
Well,
Okay, now it's clear.
yes,
Everybody should understand. Is this a good move for the planning board or not? Somebody else with a town, whether,
Yeah, I was just gonna say before Liz's explanation, and actually to that point. I don't think we want our ordinances boxing us in, number one, and number two. Leading to potential litigation, or if it doesn't even go to litigation, just the process that the town has to respond because.
Mhm.
To Rich's example. So I was thinking totally make it explicit, but in these arguments, I think I agree now with allowing the latitude. We have to trust, it's not just the select board today, planning board today. We do have to put trust in the planning board and select boards of the future.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree that we should not do this, and I started the exact opposite thinking.
any other,
Yeah, I would just say, I don't know if it's conversely, I mean, I do hear what you're saying and it's a concern. I don't think it's a big concern because I do feel like also for the applicants, we need to be clear about what the expectations are. Like, this is our expectation. If you want to build a hut or whatever, you're gonna change by more than 25% the lot. That's the expectation so that they can then build into their cost structure of a project. Because it's expensive to pave and line and do all that. So when we're constantly, if we put this as conditions of approval, that's fine, but then I also, we would have that as an option, however, that does increase their cost quite a bit. There could be the pushback and there might be negotiations that go on in that. And I just think this clarifies that is an expectation that we have. If if we all agree that this is an expectation of the planning board that we have, so that you know what to expect.
understood. The only matter that's before us, or at least one of the, is a risk. The risk is that the town may vote it down.
There's not always that risk,
Okay,
but I mean, but again, does the group?
We are a
feel like-
board and everybody gets a vote.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be explicit about what we're deciding. We're deciding that it may be worth it to take the risk to put this clarification before the voters, and if they say yes, then we have this ability to make it clear to anybody who's making a change that they're going to have to pave line. Okay, that's what's at stake here with this vote.
and it also doesn't include there's parking structures. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but anyway, yeah. Because that's, I mean.
Thank you.
Okay, John.
So one of the things I'm struggling with. And I'm sure other people are thinking about this too, is. Conceptual plans for this town. And parking. Now, I don't know if I can bring this into this, but. If we don't set some kind of conditions now. The conceptual plans have these other parking plans. To put up garages and all that sort of thing. So it's really conflicting my thoughts of which direction to go here. But if we don't set some kind of direction now for parking, to me, it feels like it's just gonna be shooting from the hip. a wild west for parking.
Yeah, I understand. We have a perpetual problem in this town.
Yeah.
And I thought every other town, but I haven't been anywhere where parking has not been a problem. Never.
Yeah.
It's always an issue.
Right.
And the only reason that people spend money on parking garages, multi-floor parking garages, is because it is a perpetual problem.
Yeah.
And then until we have autonomous vehicles where nobody has a vehicle anymore, we won't need parking. Until that happens, we're always going to have parking problems. And it will always be a sticking point. So we got to deal with it. John?
Rich, could you just reiterate the implied, I think you were saying something about right now, why change it? Because it's already implied? Or is
Well,
it
yes.
concrete stipulated in the select
Right.
board that these are the qualifications, as John's alluding to, that, you know, not just this issue, it seems that Waterville Valley Planning Select, whatever, doesn't have a lot of concrete rules and regulations that you do this, you must do this. You do this so that we can, going
Right.
forward, have a concrete set of rules, not implied, that say, you do A, you must do B.
I agree, as a general principle, that is the better course of action. I would dispute that we don't have a lot of that in town, but that's a different discussion. But this gets to John's comment that we'd be shooting from the hip. Not really, because we just don't specify that it needs to be delineated. We talk about the size of spaces. And we can put a condition in any site plan that comes before us saying, this is in our zoning, it says the size of space has to be this. You're building this type of facility, you know, whether it's a restaurant or a condo, what have you, that we have a table that shows how many spaces you need, depending on the size, square footage, or number of rooms, what have you. So there are guidelines in there. What's implied is delineation. And I would remind everybody that delineation can mean more than paving. You can delineate parking spots a number of different ways.
Yeah,
So
what,
And it's implied because.
I mean, striking,
it
excuse me,
gives-
if I didn't say
yes,
striking.
no, delineation to me is a somewhat ambiguous word.
Yeah. it
What
could
we
be-
mean is a white line on black pavement.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay, pick your color.
But the impliement of that it needs to be delineated is that we give a size.
Yes,
That a size, a parking space is 10 feet by 20 feet or?
Yes.
yes,
Yes,
does
she's
it,
good at this.
yeah,
I
thank
keep
you.
clarifying.
Does it
points.
require, as far as you're concerned in the select board, that it requires to be paid?
It is, no, the
Yes.
zoning
That's correct.
requires.
Okay,
paving.
so at this point, all we're asking for is delineation.
Yes.
yes.
Correct,
So would anybody does anything, change of use, 25% or more?
That is not existing.
not there yet.
currently. It just says that
that's the change.
all,
It's silent.
I'm trying to see.
It can't be silent if it's in the wording.
The pavement is in here.
The pavement's there,
Yes.
but delineation is
So at
silent.
this moment in time, the only thing that we would want to update is you have to strike lines to
Yes,
delineate the.
yes, yes.
That is one way of delineation. That's my.
Right,
specific
delineate the
point.
size of the lot
Right.
or whatever.
Right, and balance that against the risk if it fails. What it does to the implication that we have a right to set that condition in site plan review. That's the caution point I'm raising.
So the only thing you'd lose is delineation, the paving and the.
Paving's already there. We're strictly talking about delineation.
Margaret,
So we already have size of space identified.
we do.
Doesn't that imply that there has to be some kind of delineation in order?
That's my point.
That's exactly right.
That's my
It
point.
Exactly right.
applies, However, then it leaves. It's a double-edged sword because, the implication of. It gives you a size, therefore it should be delineated, but also be argued that it doesn't clearly state.
Yeah.
That it has to be
If I
delineated.
read that, I'd be like, okay, I just have to like do the calculation and I'm good.
Right, here's
So-
my measurements,
Right,
it's,
but
you
if we
know.
force the issue.
But precisely what we're looking at with regard to
Hello.
the
Mike, you're still on.
So if this doesn't pass for some reason, okay, we still have that delineation requirement.
Implication.
Implication.
It's an implication. It's not a requirement.
Reverts to what it is.
So why don't we try and make the change, and if it doesn't happen, we're no worse off than we are now?
Well, that's my concern.
Well, then why not present it to the public saying, right now we have this rule. We would just like to clarify, be honest with them, clarify it a little bit more, that if you are changing it, you want bonds put in.
Yeah.
If you present it logically to the,
Yeah.
as the community, I think they'll be like, all right, that seems reasonable.
We've been down this path.
Okay, I'll give you a little
Okay,
story.
so
I haven't heard.
My naivete.
No. Nancy got something to say?
Back there, I'm wondering what, she's been on this board a long time, longer than me.
Well, my question is actually to Rich. It sounds like you're worried that by saying it so specifically that it must be lines that we're cutting ourselves off from other forms of delineation. And I'm just wondering, like, what are you thinking of?
No, I'm not saying that. I just, there are other potential types of delineation, like you could have inserts in the pavement, or you can have any other sort of thing. We're not talking about lines. This amendment, proposed amendment, doesn't say lines, it says delineation. So I wasn't questioning it. I was just making a pedantic point that we're thinking strike lines, but we're just saying delineation. Somebody can come in and say, well, I'm gonna delineate it this way. And it may not be white striped lines, that's all.
That's a good point. Do we have any worries about that? I mean, they could put out flower pots between, they could do anything.
But any number of things.
Oh,
Well, we don't regulate what delineation says, then we have to go down the path of what we mean by delineation.
I mean.
Yeah, do you want to do that?
No.
Sense.
Yeah,
I
I
agree
kind of
with you.
think, I don't think anybody's gonna,
Well,
I think that a developer is gonna go with the least cost.
Yeah,
and would
that's
be
it.
Paint
I'd say 100%.
into stripe. I mean, that's, from a business, that makes the most sense. I doubt they're gonna,
Okay, to try to answer,
the asphalt, that's more expensive, like, it's.
to try to answer John's question. I'll tell you that once upon a time in 2018, there was a proposal to build smaller homes on smaller lots. And it was a property that was on Valley Road. And it seemed to the planning board that this was a very straightforward and intelligent way to deal with how to develop that property. So a proposal was made. A warrant was presented to the voters to do exactly that. However, there was a group within the town that rallied the negative vote. There are about 100 people who come to town meeting to vote. That segment spread information about the manner, spread information. And when it came time to vote, it was voted down, to the astonishment and utter surprise of the planning board.
what was built instead?
And what we have now, you can see every day as you drive along Valley Road.
Talking about villas.
Villas.
So don't,
The villas?
Those, yeah, that's what it's.
Gold Hill.
That's what it turned into.
That's it.
otherwise known as the monolith.
13.
If I
All
go-
condo units with a house.
Right across from the field.
Yes.
The disc golf.
And if you, in any of it, I was present at the time. I was a member of the board back in these prehistoric times. And this phenomenon can occur. And that's why I put on the agenda, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the information sheet for voters. How to tell the voters what these amendments are really about and why the planning board has done all of this work and made this proposal, because we think it's to the benefit of the town to vote yes on these amendments, that it can go wrong. And there are people who can get very upset And they can get on social media, and you know what social media can do. And it can utterly destroy the proposition. As intelligent and beneficial as it might be, it can be destroyed. That's what the select board member is talking about. So it's not trivial.
Are we ready for a vote?
I think we're getting there. Are there any other comments? Do I hear a motion?
So we have to open the public hearing to do that during a public hearing.
I beg your pardon, I closed it.
You have to open it and do the vote in the public hearing.
I see.
So the motion and the
You
vote.
learn things every day.
Motions always have to be a public hearing.
All right, then are we finished with discussion? I will open the public hearing. And while we're in a public hearing, ask if any of the members wish to propose a motion.
I move to accept the parking ordinance
Yeah, good
parking
work.
ordinance as amended. Because we've amended it,
Mhm.
as amended.
You might want to get the exact one.
You wanna read it?
Yeah, to get it for the record.
And I can just read it off. Are you in favor of the adoption of amendment number 7 as proposed by the planning board for the town of Waterville Valley zoning ordinance as follows?
Yeah, all the things you have to ask this guy.
Turn off your mic, Mike.
It's good.
Go ahead.
And it would be to, so as follows, require new open parking areas to be delineated while allowing legal non-conforming lots to exist as they currently are, as long as they are not modified by more than 25%. Then you just will say yes, that's the language I approve. Of.
Yes, that's the language.
Yep.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion?
Doesn't that have to be seconded?
Yes.
What has Morgan seconded it?
And Morgan's
Look
okay
at
with
that
the
one.
language.
Morgan.
Yeah, you are okay with the language.
Okay, you reiterated your second. Is there any discussion? A vote, please. Yeah, no, I'm looking right at Rob.
Margaret proceeded.
Margaret, you've been seated. Oh, what a faux pas. Excuse me, Margaret.
Aye.
Nay.
You're not seated. Aye,
I,
Aye.
passed.
Yeah, let me vote.
Your nay. I'm sorry. Not doing well today.
No
Okay.
worry.
like.
So that's 5 yes and 2 no.
So how come though, so you said we had to open a public to the vote because then when we do the motion, you second it and then we say, okay, is there a discussion about it? Wouldn't that be the point where we would have had all this discussion that we just had? Or
So
like,
the discussion that we had before was kind of like a workshop,
okay,
so you can leave the public hearing open the whole time.
okay,
That just gives the chance for the public to say, wait a second, you just said this, I'd like to question that. But yes, like all motions in regard to applications or approvals to send something forth has to be in public. So, it could be left open the whole time during that whole discussion. Or you can close it, do your quote unquote deliberations, and then open public hearing again. If there's any public feedback, okay, then you can take them. So we will send that forth to the select board, and then you can close the public hearing.
I hereby close the public hearing. All right, I think we should deal with these minutes, but I don't want to go back to this issue that I raised, which is that we need to spend some time, well, I'll do it right now. some time preparing a explanation sheet for voters. And in order to do this, I think the most expedient way to handle it is to set up a working group to begin with the language that will be necessary. You know, we have a lot of amendments, and people are gonna look at this and say, oh, I'm not gonna vote on all of it.
Significance, yeah.
Huh? They're gonna vote on all of this. Then if we had a explanation sheet available to the voters, that when they show up to vote, we give them the explanation sheet to say, these are the reasons that the planning board went ahead with these warrants. If you need more information about whether you should vote yes or no, here is a sheet explaining why we did this.
Is there a way to get that to the public prior to?
It will be
Well,
That's my comment.
posted,
the-
it will be posted on the website
And we
Once
can
I
do a
send it.
wig-wag article.
to the town.
Like we
Could-
do every year. We do that every year.
And we have something to say in the WAG?
Well, our attorney previously said he didn't like it, putting articles in the wig-wag from the planning board.
We've always done an explanation sheet for every article.
We
Patty
have,
Ferguson
you know,
was
that's,
here,
that's
so we had
definitely
to-
history. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So-
we've always gotten that out before.
What does gotten it out mean?
Post it on the website.
We put some in the post
Post office, yeah.
everyone goes
Yeah.
more than here.
I did do
Then
one
after
last
meeting.
year and then I forget, what is it? Patty Fergal, what is she? She's the
Moderator.
Thank you. She also put one in the wig-wag, so there was discussion about which one would we use. Do they want to put both in there? So I guess. We could reach out
Yeah,
to the wig-wag.
Yeah, I don't
I
have a
think it's
problem with
different
that.
if she does it or
Yeah.
if we do it, like you know what I mean? I think that was the difference on that. So she's just a citizen, she sees this in the post office and she puts it up there, but I think the legal point was us as a planning board posting things. If I remember it right, but
That's all I remember.
Well,
I would
okay,
stay away
that's
from the WIC.
advice. We don't always have to do exactly what,
or news and views.
okay,
So-
pardon me, time out. Margaret?
So if we want to come up with what we think is reasonable language for that, I will be happy to walk it across the street, Patty.
Thank you. You got the job.
I'd recommend we stay away from the wigwag. I think we just put our explanation sheet out and distribute it as we usually do.
Yeah, people don't read
We
it.
could ask like, or put a blurb in the wigwag saying, please refer to
You
the
could-
web, just to
or
reiterate
put a
that it's
link-
on the
put a link
website
to
or
the
something like
website.
that.
Yeah.
Because if you try to summarize these into a, you know,
It's gonna take a page of the wigwag.
yeah, and it's, then you end up summarizing even then.
Yeah,
So maybe a link, a wigwag link
Mhm.
to the explanation
that
sheet
sounds reasonable.
and amendments.
Yeah, I see them. Okay,
Well,
John,
and go ahead.
John's next.
I just had a question, do you, for Alicia, as tax-paying resident, do we have all of our demographic information? Do you have emails to everybody who's a
We
taxpayer?
cannot, we don't have every single resident's email, no. You have to
But-
sign up for it.
We do have, if people have signed up to e-subscribe to all the notifications, we can send it out that way. But that's only people that have subscribed to the e-subscribe.
So maybe just a wigwag thing, if you would like to hear.
Or we
what
can
the
send it
amendments
out.
are.
I mean, if you know,
I
I
think
can
just put a-
literally just send it to all the e-subscribers, you know, as. But I would have to, once it's posted on the website, then I can send it as an e-subscriber.
Okay,
I mean, and that's
Which the-
Whoa,
also,
whoa,
if
whoa, whoa. You can't send it out. I have a problem sending it out to East.
you don't have the floor yet, Mike.
I'm sorry.
Please go ahead.
I would also hold off on posting it as a formal document until the select board says,
Yeah.
yes.
We're gonna go forward with the, and that'll be part of the whole warrant package, right?
Yes.
So that's when it gets out.
I see,
Yep.
okay.
And that has to be, I forget what's the date, we have to do that by the end of February, there's a date in February, we have to have all the warrant articles posted. Is it the same for the zoning amendments? Or is it different? Because they're all warrant articles too, I'm talking about the warrant itself, we gotta get the
Yeah, I
warrant out.
don't know that off the top of my head, I.
Yeah, I think it's late February, right, it's like 2 weeks ahead of time
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
That's mine.
Usually, yeah, 2 weeks sounds about right.
I think that's it, there's so many
Let
different
me do it.
numbers
Yeah,
with this
there's a-
thing, but.
Mike, you have the floor.
my issue with sending this out to e-subscribers, which we are, is that what you're doing, and I don't know what percentage of people you have, but what it means is some people are getting this information and some people aren't. And I hate to use the word discrimination, but when you give the information to some people and omit others knowingly,
They admitted
I-
themselves.
Yeah.
Well,
I may have a problem with that.
Okay,
right, well.
you've
it
expressed
comes-
your opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it kind of goes in, so Margaret, if we put, or if in the wigwag, if we say a link, like this is posted on the website, and then also put a plug in saying, hey, subscribe to the, get your email to the town, and just do another plug so that people, again, are reiterating, this is a service that we have and you can. you'll
Easily
be
get
sent-
information.
Yeah.
But
you'll
just
be-
so everyone knows, the e-subscriber thing is not so that the town can just email people. It's when something gets put on the website, when we post something, you can hit a button that says send to e-subscriber, so it doesn't mean that.
Like a
we-
road closure.
Well,
Right,
we
it
do-
doesn't
we
mean
do
that we're just
We do
gonna-
that for notices,
Yeah.
for agendas,
Right,
for select
all those
board, for
things.
planning
So-
board. So people have every right to sign up. This is
Right.
not
Yeah,
But it's not like
discriminating
an
against anybody.
email
It's
group
up to
that then we
people.
have everyone's email and we can just email everything all the time.
Routinely.
Yeah.
right.
But I mean, yeah, so, but that's the board's decision. If they want me to do that, I'm happy to do it.
How many are signed up, Alicia?
It
I
is
have no
14,
idea.
so
I don't know.
but
John
again,
has
just-
his hand
would
up.
that be?
John, you have the floor.
I might have a question for Richard again.
Uh-oh.
Alicia.
Full name again.
He becomes Richard, that's trouble.
Because I really struggle with this, is our website. It's supposed to have been updated a year ago. Can you like tell us what's going on? Because I find that if you put this information in our town website, a lot of people are gonna get frustrated and not even go near it.
Okay, well, how about I do that in my,
Help me.
Your select board report.
update, right,
Okay, thank you.
later to me. Okay, I can do that.
Okay, we have a discussion on the floor concerning a working group to compose the language for the voter information sheet. Do I have any volunteers? Margaret is one.
I think John would be an excellent one as well.
Thank you.
Keep things simple and direct.
Yes,
Mhm.
okay. I'll put my hand up.
Okay. That's
I
all
think
you can
that,
have.
I think,
He just wants to keep.
You
it
can only
high.
have 3.
I do, yeah, you know.
Let's make her dramatic.
No.
But we aren't doing that.
I would just reiterate that I think that, John is, has been making, useful contributions at these meetings. Okay, so thank you. Yes, Margaret.
Yeah, I was just gonna say in terms of distribution, the things we talked about, putting it on the town website. Once we have this document available, we can do on March 1st, the link from, the wigwag to say, go see it. But can't we also like put it out at the post
Yeah.
office?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I think more people will go to the post office, pick it up and read it.
Yeah.
Or not more, but a lot of people will. So
A lot more.
If there's handouts there,
Mhm.
that's where people congregate. That's where they do their thing,
Right.
right? So.
Mhm,
And
yes,
if people want more information, where do we refer them?
To the town.
Well,
To
there's.
the town website, where the zoning ordinance will be posted showing the amendment.
Watch recorded
Yeah.
meetings.
You're not allowed to talk at that.
say that again.
You
Well,
should give out
then-
your personal cell phone number.
Yeah, sure.
But if they have questions, like,
Silent.
are they allowed to call the town office and talk to me or Steve or you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And I mean, obviously, we'll do the best we can.
And someone from the working group should be available at the polls to discuss, because you can have the handouts there as well. And this is something the working group can talk about, either to send all this. But someone should be there, with the explanation sheet in case anyone has questions, but you have to be careful in your answers. You just have to provide the facts, even though whether you voted for or against it. You
Well,
can't
I'm
say,
already
"Vote
on
for
site.
this."
Bill.
Yeah,
One of the 3 of you, yeah, someone.
Yeah.
should
Oh, no, you're
consider that.
supervisor of the checklist now?
yeah,
So,
I mean, we have a table out in the lobby in the town hall. We can make a little display, put them out there, whatever.
right,
Go
but
with
people will
it.
have questions and nonetheless, they will have
Yeah.
questions, but that will come at polls, I think. More than any other place.
Probably, yeah.
Mike's waving his hand.
Hi, Mike. You have the floor.
My suggestion to the working group is we have to be very, very careful with our explanations. A lot of the things we're talking about are rather technical, and have to be careful about what it says about things in the past, in the current, and the future. My suggestion is that before this is published, it should be reviewed either by North Country Council representatives or our attorney.
Explanatory notes.
The explanatory notes, even though they are not legal, tend to go into and be part of the history of this and can be used to, if the explanation doesn't fit the crime or whatever, we could have an issue in the future. So
Yeah.
I'm just suggesting that the explanatory notes, which I'm sure will be done very professionally and magnificently, but they should be reviewed to make sure that there is nothing said and or implied in them which could be used contrary to the zoning amendment itself or some other zoning amendment. That's all I'm saying. In my former life, I've been around these things all the time.
Yeah, quick comment building on that. I think one of the things, I mean, I guess suggestion to the working committee is, I mean, of the 100 or so people who show up to that meeting, I would say 25 of them may actually read those explanations. But even so, it's because when you get that with the number of amendments we have, I mean, it just even speed reading it, you kind of lose it. It seems like having bullet points. This is why we did it. Bullet, like people get bullets and paragraphs people get lost in. So just just a comment on that and
Accept it.
don't need discussion on it.
So I can send out the draft, which is just, we can bullet point kind of the slideshow. I'll just put that in Word. And then I'll send it out to the working group for them to review and we'll bullet point it. Kind of, what will this do? Boom, boom, boom. What will this do? Boom, boom, boom.
The working group reports to the board.
Mhm.
And so that will be presented. The output of the working group will be presented to say, this is what we've gathered as language for the explanation of each of these amendments.
Now, does that have
And-
to come before the statutory requirement, the explanation?
It's just a courtesy. So it
So we
could
can
come
do
out
it-
day of
So we
vote.
can do it, when's the March meeting? Red Rubber going with
I
us.
think it's Feb 8
Is it before?
is a meeting.
Is it before or after the,
Second
no,
Thursday?
yeah, no, it's after,
It's the 12th.
so it'll be after
It is.
town meeting. So in order for the full board to review it, it would have to be at the February regular meeting, or we'd have to lay on a special meeting.
Yep.
I can
Correct.
get it out today, to the working group. And they can respond to me singly with their points. And then we can have a draft ready for Tuesday's
The
meeting.
March
So
meeting is
after the
when?
public hearing, we could close that public hearing and then talk about the
I
explanatory
don't
notes.
know, that'd be.
I know it's
Yeah.
quick, but
Yeah.
if it's a starting point at least to get a draft.
March 10th.
The date of the March planning board meeting is,
Oh,
12.
Ours is
Too late.
12.
Yeah.
well, the 12th is town meeting.
No,
The
10th.
10th, sorry, I apologize. The 10th is town meeting, the 9th is the school meeting, right? The
Yes,
day before.
The school
So the
district
9th
meeting.
is school
see.
district, 10th is town and 12th is.
The
planning
12th,
board.
because then you elect new officers on the
After.
planning board right after the.
I
meeting on the
see.
10th.
So, yeah, we can't do it then. So
Yeah,
We have
it's either the February meeting or a special meeting.
Yeah,
We
I
have a
don't think
meeting
there's
next
a
week.
great
that?
rush. I mean, it's a tough. Who knows what's gonna come out of a public hearing? Let me just put it that way. So, I mean, I think our experience, the last time we laid on two public hearings in a row, wasn't that great.
For the explanatory notes, it wouldn't be a public.
I understand, but
Yeah,
we,
okay, yeah,
we're gonna have, who knows how long the public hearing may go.
right.
So we have a February meeting, and this gives a chance for the working group actually to.
Yeah,
to
I agree.
Think about it and.
What date is that? February meeting?
12th.
Second.
February
Yeah,
12th?
so February 12th, that's plenty of time.
Yeah, so the regularly scheduled planning board meetings are always the second Thursday.
Yes,
Yeah, so why don't?
So
the
that is-
working group
you said
work
Feb
to that
12th?
date?
Was that
February 12th?
February 12th?
8:30?
Yes.
Let the
Okay,
Working group present on
yes.
the 12th.
So we'll beat on it again then.
And Margaret, you said there's a meeting next Thursday?
There's a meeting next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
correct?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
But that's
Public
all
hearing.
about,
Our other.
part.
Okay.
yes, that's right, the Adventure Zone.
8:30, so
Four.
That's at 4.
4 PM? Oh, here
Yeah,
or there?
yes, 4, yeah.
When?
The meeting on the 13th is at 4 PM?
Yes.
Yep.
It's Finley's
That's
birthday.
But you guys said.
When our council could.
All right,
Yep.
right. I remember that. Okay, that takes care of that. Now we're gonna do some minutes. How's that? We're moving on now to minutes.
Alright, got it. Explanatory.
Which one? Would you like to do? 11?
December 11th. I just had for the roll call, just were John, Nancy and Margaret weren't included on
No, I wasn't, so the ones that I wasn't at are tough for me when the alternates are sitting here. I can't tell if they're
Can't see.
here or not, and if they're not written in notes, I have no idea who's here. So to that point, if when we're doing a roll call, if the alternates are just sitting in the audience, if they can just say something.
Okay.
Cause if I'm not always here grabbing
Mhm.
everybody.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So.
No, I don't remember, honestly,
Yeah, I know,
the
it's-
three of them.
I
So
was
were
trying
you
to
guys there
listen for
or
people
not?
and like, is someone in the audience, is that someone's shoe, but I.
Yeah. Nancy, do you remember
And on line 20,
if you were here?
Yeah, I was not here for the very last meeting.
Okay.
December 11th? Were you there for December 11th? It
I
was
was
a
here for the
regular-
second to last meeting. I can't remember the exact dates.
16th probably.
This was just a regular planning board meeting.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I was here.
Yes.
there.
remember, Nancy was here.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there.
But it was a public hearing, wasn't it?
No, well,
There was one on there.
no, this
It was
was,
both.
it was at 8:30 on Thursday, December 11th.
There was a continuation of the outdoor
Right, because you were.
like public hearing.
And then Margaret and John, I don't know if you guys were there or not.
I was in sunny Florida.
Okay, good for you.
Oh, John-
All right.
I don't believe I was there.
Okay.
No,
Line 20, council. SEL,
Okay,
that's for Lefebvre and Driscoll.
Ay, what the-
I have a comment on line 61.
Go ahead.
I would identify who James Sununu was. I think it's important in this context.
just like applicant.
Yeah, applicant.
Any other comments?
No. I move we accept the planning board meeting minutes of December 11th as amended.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections?
Mm.
Passed. Oh, here were the corrections today. That's the 16th.
Okay.
Okay, looking at the 16th, the same council, SEL. And then Keach Nordstrom. Okay, any objections to the corrections in red?
You ready for a motion?
I think so.
Excuse me, there is,
Yes.
we don't adjourn. Did we adjourn the meeting? Is it the one I have a note on? Sorry, I'm not looking at my notes.
No.
We did not, we don't have adjournment.
I mean, in the recording, the public hearing was closed and that was sort of it. So,
No one made a motion to adjourn.
At what meeting?
This is,
December 16th.
well, it was the public hearing on the zoning amendments. We had two public hearings.
I don't recall, I have to take the recording.
The recording doesn't show a motion to adjourn.
mm-mm.
I mean,
I heard that, but it was very much.
Was that the one that I was controlling?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's with the slides.
Some motion to adjourn.
Cause I had to leave and, or maybe I wasn't, I can't remember which ones I was here for.
Yeah, I think it was the public hearing that for the zoning amendments that I ended it. And it was like,
Yes.
oh, I should.
So
have
it's
ended the
possible that
recording.
after that it ended, and I wasn't here. Does anyone remember who adjourned the meeting? Normally it's Morgan.
yeah, it was Morgan, yeah.
Sounds great.
And then normally it's
That's
Kathy.
it,
That's just how it goes.
Otherwise, that meeting is still going.
So would you like me to put that in there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I think it's a good idea.
Morgan, Kathy,
It was probably unanimous.
and everybody probably wanted to adjourn.
That's right. Nobody objected to that.
Alright, I'll add that at the end.
All right, so I move that we accept the planning board public hearing, December 16th minutes as amended. Accept as amended.
Second.
Kathy.
It's slow off the mark, yes. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Passed. Oh, dear.
Oh, my God, there's,
Just hit the power button or anything.
How dare you? All right, where are we?
Yeah, this was our CIP. Look at that, adjournment.
Yeah.
Adjournment.
It's
When you
there.
do a lot of these, you'll probably Morgan or Kathy.
They're bright and bold adjournment. Look okay to you, Rob?
Yeah, I think it's good.
I move we accept the planning board meeting minutes on December 18th as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Passed. Application warrant 5, we did that. All right, I put this item on the agenda because I want the planning board members to recognize that we will have a meeting on the 13th to continue the discussion with the applicant concerning the adventure zone. But we may not have an extension beyond the 17th. Therefore, we will need to deliberate on the 14th or the 15th. So I need to ask you people to look at your agendas to determine that we have time for on your phone to call a meeting to, as we need to set times to do this.
14th or 15th works for me anytime.
Okay, I'm okay, 14 or 15.
Can we be clear, January?
What day of the week?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes, January.
In the morning?
It's up to us to decide, you know, we're the only people who are gonna be here.
There's a deliberation.
We're gonna do a deliberation.
Rich, I think you and I are tied up, starting at 3 o'clock on the 15th. We have a joint select board, planning board meeting at 3 o'clock on the 15th, according to
You mean-
my calendar.
Yeah, I won't, but if it's a public hearing and deliberations, my calendar doesn't matter. On
Yeah.
Rich, you always matter.
Is it a public hearing
but
or
Mike
just a
does.
special meeting to make a decision?
You don't know.
After the public
You
hearing?
don't know.
Well, it's,
Not sure.
if we need the time, I say we can't discuss anything today. But I'm asking the planning board members to mark on their calendar that we may be required to deliberate on the 14th or the 15th and the 15th.
Or hold a public hearing. You may not.
Could
close
be, it could be that we're in a continuation.
So leave your schedules as open as
I
possible.
want you to leave your schedules open. That's a very good way of putting this.
Do
Request.
we want, like, do we want to come to a consensus if needed today
You
to
can't
say
do that
like,
today. You have
okay,
to
if
discuss
it's
it.
needed? We
Yeah,
can't even say that. Okay.
yeah, it's just
Okay.
throwing it out there, just keep your calendars as clear as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, just so
Yeah.
that nobody says, oh, I didn't know.
Right.
Okay.
And
Yes,
just
Margaret.
as a reminder, John and I are recused
Okay.
on that.
I
It's
understand.
just a 6.
What, is there any reason where we can close
Adventure
the
zone.
meeting on the 13th and start deliberation
It's
We
my
could.
son's birthday.
if it's done?
We have dinner plans. I
Good.
leave. That's the
Okay,
other thing.
so we're just gonna leave.
But if
Kathy
we
can't do
need
it
the
anyway.
time, I'm asking you to look at your calendars to say that if we need the time,
Okay,
I don't want anybody, you know, I don't want to find that we've got, you know, only 3 members of the planning board, so that they could do it.
yeah,
That's would be bad.
personally, I'm wide open both days.
Me too.
Bill, I don't know yet how ambulatory I will be at that time, whether I'll be zooming in or whether or not I will be able to have you carry me up that little hill or not.
I'm looking at Liz and I have my doubts about if it's a deliberation meeting, whether we can do this on Zoom.
Yes, you can have it in Zoom as long as there's a quorum in person. You can have a seated member via Zoom,
But it-
especially for that reason.
But they can't comment, right?
They're a board
they
member.
can.
If they're a seated board member, yes,
Can they vote?
yes.
No, the rule is that
They
it's
just
what's
count.
happening now, that
What's that?
for reasons
Formal.
such as
Yeah.
no medical reasons, that a board member may attend and participate on Zoom.
Mhm.
But that's not open to the public or anybody else.
Yes.
Right.
But you have a quorum.
In
So,
person.
so I can attend, as long as there is a seated quorum, I can attend, if that's still the case, I can attend and vote by Zoom after yes, that's my understanding.
Yes,
Okay, that's confirmed.
Thank you. That's good to know. for both me and Nance.
So- Excuse me.
Yes,
Just-
Margaret,
Just to point out,
yes,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you need one of them to be present
yes.
to get the quorum.
Well, I
Isn't a
need-
Form 4?
Four.
Mike's a member,
There's 6 for the.
when it
Venture
comes
Zone.
to, I'll look at Liz, but when it comes to deliberation, I need members.
Yes, you need 4 in person.
Only 4?
Yes, because the official board is 7 members, so.
7 members and 1 recusal leaves 6. But in
the
order
board-
to establish a quorum to take a vote, you need at least 4. That's certainly like 4 bodies here. And we had Mike for extra excitement. All right, items remaining on the agenda. Well, there's master plan action items review. Which, yep, Catherine,
I hate to, what's warrant 5 off-street parking suggested rewording?
but that was the parking,
Oh,
that was the beginning of the meeting, and it's not warrant 5, that's a mistake. It was 5 and is now 7.
Okay,
That's
go
what that is. We did that at the beginning of the meeting.
Different number on the ballot.
Yeah, okay, but
It's-
I don't have anything to
well, yeah.
say.
What warrant article, who knows, but it will be amendment number 1 of the zoning ordinance or number 7 for
That
parking,
confuses people too.
yeah. Cause it may not necessarily be warrant article number 7, but it's
Yeah.
amendment number 7.
Almost certainly won't be.
Yeah.
Not, can't be.
Yeah, right, maybe 8, but.
I don't have anything to say about the master plan review items because we've been extraordinarily busy these last several months. Well, we've been extraordinarily busy all throughout 2025.
I can just leave that in notes as add to the agenda, you know, just so it's on there, cause
So-
in. You
Okay,
guys talked about wanting to make sure you do it.
yes,
Mhm.
moving
I think
on.
February, I think I think perhaps a little bit more. I mean, people, members should prepare to discuss the state of the master plan and our tasks, that what were completed in 2025, so we know what we need to do in 2026. And February of 2026 is a good time to have that discussion, so we have the rest of the year to follow through on what we didn't do and what we should be doing. So I would make it more than a tickler. I would be let's talk about the master plan, chapter 8
And at the February meeting.
at the February meeting. That's what I propose,
Okay,
assuming everything else is on. Well, you have the working group, but.
and then who knows what's going to happen, but
But
somebody said that's a good suggestion, and I think we should go ahead with it. But
Wrote it down.
you know how busy we've been. All right, reports. How about a report from the select board?
Well, as far as zoning is concerned, the only thing that I have is that, we will be looking at the CIP. Recommendations, today, that were passed to us by the planning board, so we start taking that up today, it'll be the first time we're looking at them. And there was a question about, the website, I won't say we're in negotiations, but we're talking to our current provider who's updating their website, but we're looking at a competitor who may offer a better product. And it's just taking time to get the information from them that we need to make a decision. We had hoped to have the website updated by the end of last year, and we didn't do it. So I'm hoping to get it done as soon as possible. But it will be updated. The question is whether we're going with the current website provider or whether we're gonna move to a different platform.
The provider that you choose,
Mhm.
would there be room for public input?
Come to the planning board when the select board when we discuss it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Is that on the agenda soon or?
It's
no.
not on, we just had our last meeting yesterday. We haven't looked at the agenda for the 21st of January. That's our next regular meeting. If we're done and we're ready to move forward with a provider, I mean, we'll put it on the agenda and it'll be discussed at that meeting. So, but it's not on the agenda yet.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Just as some side input, the town of Charlestown, we had the same website as you guys. and we switched to. I forget who is now the provider, it's a nightmare using the new one. And they utilize Google Docs. And like, so saving minutes into Google Docs. And then on the website, just having a link, like a hyperlink to the Google Doc folder.
Way too complicated.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes it much harder. So, I don't know if it's significant savings switching providers, but just keep that.
Could you talk to Steve about that? Because I know he's the one talking to the
Yeah.
our current
I mean,
provider
Pete and
and
Kristen have, I mean,
they've been going at this for
and they're
some
going,
time.
and I mean, Kristen does the majority of the
Mm-hmm.
website stuff, so, you know, she wants it to be streamlined and easy
Mhm.
and what, so
Mhm.
that is
Yeah.
in their minds, right? They want it to be more
Mhm.
user friendly. So
Okay.
when they're meeting with these people and looking at what they can do, that's what they're.
Right, but we need to
Yeah.
find out who that,
But yeah.
Town Cloud is who Charlestown went with.
that doesn't sound like, I can't
I don't
remember. I
that
don't
doesn't
think we're
ring a bell,
talking.
but I'll still-
Just-
No, it's somebody
yeah.
else we're talking to.
Still
Just
bring it
make
up.
sure, just to ask if they utilize hyperlinks to Google Docs, because it's a nightmare and it makes it 10 times harder
Than it already.
than.
Right,
Yeah, and which, I mean, once you start using the website though, it. You know, it's good once you understand how it works.
Yeah.
But, the current one that you guys have, but yeah, we switched up,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Mhm.
And, it was a nightmare, one, to transfer all the
yeah,
information.
that's been the issue.
And I saved every single document into a hard drive.
Right,
Just in case
Never know.
somehow it got lost.
Yeah, I put
Yeah.
everything on hard drive.
Yeah, definitely the way to do it.
anyway, there's nothing zoning related that I can recall.
No, we're always interested in what's going on at the select board.
And how's the search going?
So, we recently hired a recruiting firm.
Okay.
And this week it'll be going live with an ad and a website. And we will be conducting interviews, I think, in the near future. We have two
So-
candidates.
So,
We
yeah.
talked to you most
um,
recently, I think, Margaret.
The position has been reposted on the town website. So you can see the reposting there and you can see the full job description. The place that we're going with is Rethink Local. The person that we're working with, his name is Alex Torpy. He is very
Wow.
well
Was she just
associated.
the town manager in Hanover? What?
You may have-
Yes, he may have been. So
Okay.
he's had any number of interim town manager positions and has what I would describe as a very broad network in terms of contacts with both New Hampshire town managers, Vermont town managers, basically regional. He will actually put up a website that is dedicated to Waterville Valley. Okay, so that anybody that is interested would get on that website, they would see the full description of the job. There would be an application form there for them to fill out. We did have 2 candidates out of the 49 we reviewed from the prior process that we suggested might want to move forward, and he has already contacted them and encouraged them to be part of the application process. The last week in January and the first week in February is when he is going to be doing what he calls 30-minute screening interviews on 10 to 12 candidates. Following that, there will be interviews of 4 to 6, and the screening committee will participate in those interviews, which he will be conducting, but we will have a role in those. And out of that process, which is supposed to take place in mid-February, we will have a recommendation to the select board on finalists. And those finalists will appear in person and interview not only with the select board, but also with selected directors within the town, have a town tour, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what the schedule is now. We're hoping to be in a position to make an offer by the beginning of March. So.
Fingers
Baptism by
crossed.
fire
Good
there.
process.
Yeah.
right before town meeting.
Meanwhile, we're holding our own. Mr. Chair.
Oh, yeah,
Steve is.
By our fingernails.
yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too much on certain
Yeah.
individuals in the organization, way too much.
I get it.
And we're in a situation where, you know, for instance, as an example, if there was a personnel issue that comes up, the person who is in charge of dealing with that is also the interim town manager.
Mm.
And so there's not really an appeal level kind of thing. So
Mhm.
those are the kinds of things you need to work through when something like that is happening. Plus everything else that's going on
Yeah.
Right.
with getting ready for town meeting and getting the
Budget.
annual report done and
The budget.
Morning.
and the budget and, yeah.
Is there anything else from the select board?
No, unless you have any questions?
Wish I did. John, can you tell us anything about the White Mountain National Forest?
Not much now at this meeting. I'll continue to do a little more interviews or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Research.
Yes.
Because
Research.
there's always somebody down at the front desk I talk to, but there's not much happening.
Okay,
Conservation,
yes,
may I go right?
yes,
into-
you may.
So I only have a couple of things. We're still in touch with Rick Vanderpool. We're still on for this spring. He's not forgotten us.
Mhm.
We're wondering and making sure, but one of the conservation members, Garrett Levy, has been in touch with Rick Vanderpool, so that's good news.
And this form that caused all the trouble, is that
Yeah, it was
redone and accepted?
one form, but I think they gotta redo the whole thing over. Well,
But it's not done yet.
No,
No.
you gotta get approval, you gotta get the money.
yeah, we gotta get the approval, so that was gonna go into my next thing is, because we ran out of the funds at the end of December, we have to get a reapproval from the town meeting. Did I get that right, Rick?
Yeah, that's as I understand it.
Yeah. So once we get that, it's 41,000 that is actually there. But to be able to get to it, we have to reapply for it. And that'll have to go into the town meeting in March. And then approved or not approved.
Right, so I mean, as I understand it, what happened is since it was approved for $50,000 2 or 3 years ago. There was an expiration date and using that money, only 9,000 was used, so there's 41
Yeah.
left over, and that it was. Collected via taxes, but then it was moved over as to fund balance. Where it sits, but that money is no longer available for the project. You gotta get reauthorization from the town. You gotta get another warrant article that says we want X amount of dollars for this project.
And
That's
then,
how I understand it.
and the warrant article will come from the committee, the conservation committee. To
Well,
you,
It should come, well, the select board should actually do it.
okay.
But we, as we haven't taken up the warrant articles yet. We haven't finished our budget discussions.
When you do, you would need a member of the conservation commission come in and ask for that through you.
No, I think
Through
you
the-
guys have already asked.
Okay,
Yeah, we haven't
so
decided.
it's
what
on
we're
your
gonna do.
radar.
Oh, yeah, we just
Okay.
haven't taken it up yet.
Understood. Okay, one more thing, so the last meeting, which was, we're always a week apart from our meetings with the planning board. So they had their monthly meeting a week after our last regular monthly meeting. And James Sununu came in and spoke to the Conservation Commission just to clarify some things about Cochran's Pond. Everyone has probably a different thought about it, how it was, but he explained why the pond is what it is. It's not protected by the Shoreline Protection Act. And I was surprised to hear this, but it doesn't qualify because it's less than 10 acres.
And it's man-made,
And, sorry,
because I think it's also man-made, I think that's part of it.
well, it wasn't because it was man-made.
Okay,
It's because it was under less than 10 acres.
And does it have an outlet?
Yes,
It does have an outlet, okay.
you tell me what your thoughts are.
I thought that most water bodies, especially like man-made, water bodies, as long as they were enclosed, then DES doesn't touch them. But yes, 10 acres is, like the limit for their protections. But yeah, Mark had told me that it wasn't state regulated.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think because it has the outlet, it would have been just a river
yeah,
going through, but where they put the dam up, it created a pond.
Yep.
That was less than 10 acres, which doesn't require the shoreline protection.
But in the past, the town has sought state approval for work in that pond, dredging, for example. And we have had to get permits from the state.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So there's
is
an
that
interest,
because of possible
could have been because of an error. on the
sludge
part-
going?
No, I think could have been an error on the part of the town thinking that they had to get state approval.
Mhm.
But in the last time it was dredged, there were permits required by the state and there were wetlands that had to be dealt with.
Okay.
Huh.
We have to deal with that when we get to the dredging
I will
again.
end it.
Yeah,
There.
And definitely the state is involved in the dam,
And while the
the
state
dam
is,
dam.
yeah, the state is involved in the dam as well. And we've been in negotiations with the ski resort in Tyrell over the towns, their easement that they have to draw water from the pond.
Yeah.
Those negotiations are ongoing, although we're in a bit of a hiatus because both they and we have other things at the moment that are more pressing time-wise.
right.
So the bottom line is that this is an unregulated pond.
Yeah, if it's not the state has to designate it as a class A or B. Water body, and if it's not classified as A or B, then they don't
Yeah, I don't-
regulate it.
yeah, there's a good question as to why we went back in 2000.
But they do test the water.
They do test the water. And, you know, it is based on a stream coming out of the White Mountain National Forest, and then it exits the stream, White Mountain National Forest, into the Mad River. So it's not just an enclosed,
Right,
like a retention pond. or anything
and I
like
wonder
that.
if that's why
The state.
the state required a permit for dredging it because of the outlet to the Black River. I wonder if that's why they just wanted to make sure that everything was,
It could be in the dam
Yeah.
between that and the river. I don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't looked at that.
I will actually bring that question up to the board, the conservation board. And see if we can't get an answer why
yeah,
the state is involved.
yeah, that, I don't have a ton of knowledge on, the water bodies other than class A or B, I know are regulated. And if it's class A or B, regardless of size, it's going to be regulated,
Okay,
so, but I'd have to do some more research on that.
okay,
I don't know all the ins and outs. of it.
all right, if we can't find anything, I'll touch base with you at another date for the time.
Yeah.
Okay, we can get clarification on that.
Could you say a word about, is there a consequence to not being regulated?
No, I don't.
Or is there another way of saying it if it's,
Well, the town owns the pond,
Yeah,
so it's whatever the
if
town.
it's whether it's regulated, could you add and say, so what? Who cares whether it's regulated or not?
Right,
Well, I think there are issues there. I mean, it is, I mean,
if the
as
town
Margaret
didn't
pointed
own
out,
it-
we have a beach there and the town samples the water regularly during.
Yep.
During the summer.
It's a public beach.
It's a public
Yeah,
beach.
so that falls underneath the health officer, totally different set of
Different
rules.
set of rules. okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if the town didn't own the pond at any time, if it's unregulated, then you never know what's gonna happen to it. But with the town owning it,
Right, and we have regulations with regard to the dam, that pond has to be at a certain
Mhm.
level, certain times a year.
yeah,
So that it is regulated.
Yep.
Yeah, my opinion is I thought that it was regulated and I thought that it was of interest to the state. Because the state's telling us at what level they want that dam adjusted.
They're recommending to us. Basically.
Is there a difference?
Yeah, yeah, more requirement and recommendation,
Yeah,
yeah,
The
best
other,
practices rather than you have to do this.
yeah.
the other question I have for the commission is. If the town owns that pond, is it at what water level? Is it high level or low level? I know in the ocean it's
For what,
high and
the,
low.
it's 1,475.5 feet elevation. Is the boundary line of
Okay,
that pond, if that's what you're asking.
Yep.
1,475.
no, I have that too. It's 1435.
These numbers you know.
Yeah, I'm impressed you know that number.
Believe me, we've been talking about it, that's the only reason I know it.
Are there setbacks? Like,
Mm.
build within like 50 feet? Is
That's
that
all
what
the
you're asking?
easements.
No,
Okay.
well, there are, the property owners go right up to the pond edge.
Okay,
There are easements all
Mhm.
across, not only the water easement, but other easements up for trails
Yep.
around the pond. There are setbacks in one area, I believe, in the northeast corner,
okay.
but I'd have to look at it in more detail.
That's
It's
true.
really complicated.
Only those two.
Watch.
No.
Yeah.
Capel. Would you get dressed before the meeting?
Glad my back, I'll just say this direction.
Let's say,
Oh my God.
is it a, no, there has to be entertainment at every board meeting. Yes.
I'm glad you're taking care of yourself.
Rich, I have a question on the 14th.
Oh, good, I'm back to Rich now. I'm okay.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Okay,
I have a question on that 1475.
0.5.
0.5. Can you, so. How do you actually measure that?
It's the altitude. It's the elevation, I should say, the elevation
So if
line,
I'm,
the topographical
so if
elevation.
I'm out
line.
in a kayak and
I
I
get
got my cell phone checking and I
Yeah,
move around and it starts to go up to 1478,
yeah,
I go back to 1475 and that's where the line is.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
whatever that part of the pond is above that belongs to whoever owns that part of
That's
the
where the
land.
town and the private
Property,
landowner
yeah.
would be.
It's,
Okay,
it's a classic old Waterville Valley deed and
Gotcha.
easement situation where we're trying to untangle it and it's very difficult. We're trying to find better way to deal with it
got
in
it.
terms of the boundary line in particular, but I think that's gonna hold.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to,
Well, that way I
other
can
ways.
explain it to the commission
Yeah.
so they
Yeah.
understand
At
it.
least it's a definition
Yeah, and
and
it's
somebody
been
can measure it.
a cloudy one for quite a while, so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's about what I have and that's enough.
Oh, that's enough.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's another. We're no longer a little town at the end of the road.
Yeah,
Makes these decisions with the handshake and a backslap.
yeah. Yep,
Whatever, I was looking for something else and I was gonna say, yes, the CIP.
Yeah, so just gonna go back through, make sure that all the notes that Morgan took and whatnot, all our documentation is squared away there, so I'll listen in to YouTube today.
yeah. we're
Just so I
meeting-
have context, then we're be available to the select board if they want more explanation or,
I don't know if we'll be broadcasting it today. We usually.
oh,
don't.
is it, this is a private one?
No, it's not private. It's just,
Oh.
it's just more of a budget discussion,
Working meeting.
Okay.
working meeting. It's very dry. No one ever comes. And we don't really, and then we can't decide, really.
So we'll be on the ready if you guys have any questions or needs.
Yep,
And then, and then after town meeting, we'll reconvene as a group, start on this new process procedure stuff. So that's what I got.
Very good. Are there any other reports? I have none on my agenda, but nobody else has anything else to say?
I do have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
For clarification only.
What else?
January 14 or 15, a possible meeting?
Yes,
And January 14 or 15, how will we know which day?
We can't have a discussion any further than keep your schedule open,
Till the
in
13th.
case.
Until the
Because
13th. Okay.
We will
On
discuss that.
next Tuesday, you know, we'll know.
Okay, and you'll let us know by email?
No,
The
you'll have the
13th.
discussion on the 13th during the public hearing if the board needs it.
Oh, so we have a public hearing on the January 13th.
January
Yeah,
13th.
next Tuesday.
4
Yeah.
p.m. here.
Which we're invited to, Margaret and I. but
Yes.
the-
Yeah, you're invited.
We're
Yeah,
public.
The 14th and 15th were banished.
but you're gonna
No.
be,
get to come to everything.
You can also be present for the deliberations, but deliberations are just amongst seated board members.
There you go.
And there's no back and forth.
But
between-
Margaret and I were banished from the attorney's discussion that day.
That's
Yes,
what
that's a
those-
non-meeting for board members only.
Can you just explain why we were banished?
When you have a non-meeting with an attorney, only seated board members are, it's just the right only for that.
That's the.
Protocol.
Trust me, none of us
Yeah,
know
I
that.
understand.
yes, if you want my position, you can have.
No.
No.
Actually, you can't on that matter.
Yeah, so no, you'd be happy to be in the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get skills.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for
Uh,
clarification.
Yeah.
So calendar review, our next meeting is the 13th at 4 p.m.
Yes,
And then keep your schedule open 14, 15.
yes, because we'll make a decision, you know, so Friday, the 16th is essentially our
Deadline.
last workday.
And then the next,
That's you know, unless there's an extension, you know, who knows? We can't talk about it.
and then the next regular meeting is February 12th.
That's right.
Okay.
Master plan and working group on amendments, zoning amendments.
And then in March, it's the 12th, correct?
Yes.
And we have town meeting on the 10th.
Yep, so you'll vote for a new chair, vice chair, secretary. Maybe welcome new members. I don't know whose term is up.
I'd have to look, there's probably a couple people.
That's
So-
the
No, I can just
Is the
pull the
select board
phone up.
meeting the 10th?
No.
That is
it's a
town
town
No, no,
meeting.
no, it's,
Yeah, but there will be a select board meeting right after town meeting, and we will appoint, if there's anybody who needs to be reappointed to the board, unless they say otherwise, we will reappoint them to the board. I don't have a town report in front of me. It says it by your name, what your term, and when your term
Yeah,
ends.
Yeah.
okay,
And
so
that's at
on the
the rec center,
website, it says
the town
board
meeting.
members, Bill Spence, Chair, 2027. Kathy
Yeah.
Brennan, Vice Chair, 2026. Morgan Deem, Secretary, 2027. Rich is just ex officio. John Racine, 2026. Mike Capel, 2028. Nancy Knight, alternate, 2026. Rob Wilson is still listed as an alternate, 2028. Margaret Turner, alternate, 2027. Ellen Burko, 2028. And John, 2028.
So
So
Kathy,
2026.
John and Nancy need to let the select board know if they do not want to be reappointed to their position.
Do not.
John,
No, John's 28. I
he's
think.
28.
He's new.
No, 26.
John, was I 26?
You're 26,
You
so you have
are.
to tell us whether you want another
Yeah.
3-year
So
term.
you, Nancy, and Kathy.
And Kathy,
Okay,
so you can just send an email saying, please reappoint me to. But I think you two are
Members.
full members and Nancy's an alternate, and yeah, just send an email
okay.
saying you'd like to be reappointed or not, to let us know. And if we'll find someone else, or if you have someone else in mind, we'll do that, right, we do that the night of town meeting. Right after town meeting, we have our select board meeting, right, we get to stay longer.
Wow.
And have it, and so we'll reappoint it so that when you have your meeting on the 12th, you have your full complement of people,
I see. Yep.
and then that's when you pick. That's up to the board to pick who they want to be their officers.
Okay.
That's not the select board, that's planning board.
Okay.
So the three of you need to figure out
Okay,
that. Leave the select board out of
Pity.
that.
What's up?
Not that I want to prevent adjournment, trust me. But how would you go about creating a committee, subcommittee, whatever you want to call it, from a protocol standpoint? of an
Working
archi-
group. Working group.
Working group? Is that what
Well,
you
that's
call
the
it?
name
For
that's
an-
usually applied.
Well,
yeah.
you have all these different
like CIP committee.
Yeah.
Architectural review.
Yeah.
I'd like to establish.
The
an
planning board can do
architecture-
that. We can discuss it and
Yep,
get two people to join you and you can create.
So
that
like a
group.
CIP, you'd have an
Yeah.
architectural review, we'd come
That's
up
just
and discuss what we'd like to all see as architectural
Yeah, if we wanted to
plans
like to
for
review
any
zoning
new
for the
development,
architectural.
new building.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
That I would
Or like
to-
establish an architectural review board that somebody has to come to. Is that what you mean?
That's a
Precisely.
different thing.
That's a different
That's a
method.
different.
Well, okay, so then that's, how would you do that?
Well,
Oh.
I think they have to come in front of the planning board.
Right.
Sounds logical.
And if there were being changes proposed in architectural requirements, that would have to go before the town as a town warrant.
At the end of the process. I mean, you could have an architectural review working group that can ask people to come and talk to them. But they can't make any decisions, because there'll be only 3, so they can't make any decisions.
No,
for the
I would
planning
like
board.
something that, yes, similar to. And I always revert to this, living on Long Island, there was an actual architectural review board that whenever you wanted to do construction modification, you went before them if there was an issue.
Yeah, well,
and
that's called the
things
planning board here.
like-
Well, no, for like residential uses though, is that like to cover all?
Mostly commercial,
Commercial.
but yes, they had a hand in, you know, depends.
You don't have,
Yeah, so
If it was
architectural review board, that would have to go to
historical
town vote to create.
create such a
To
thing.
create
Yeah,
a board,
right.
and they would review all building permits. So any building.
Yeah,
permit
I don't
that
think
came
we want
across.
that.
Yeah,
Full-time.
but for
That's-
commercial architectural review, that's the planning board, to make sure that it aligns with the architectural regulations.
You could be our lead
Okay.
person.
Yeah,
to
you could
this.
John, if
No,
you-
just
Creative
a
thing.
review of those architectural review.
If you wish to propose a creation of a working group within the planning board to review architectural ordinances and regulations, you could do that.
Guide me in that direction.
Or you can
I'm
review
doing
it
it.
and then report back.
They may
And
even
then-
push you in that direction.
You can get a couple other people, or you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
But you can have a working group, which is up to the planning board to create it.
It'd be members of the public?
Yeah. it can
Like if you
be.
had like an
can, as long as you only have
architect-
3, you can bring people in from the public.
Yeah, you just have
But
3 people
maximum 3
max.
from here.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
maximum 3.
yeah, you may want someone like from code enforcement because they're enforcing. The zone, our architectural standards are in zoning.
Mhm.
They do exist. There is a whole section
In zoning.
in
It's
zoning.
there.
Yeah, it's like, it has to be in a
Colors,
mountain
mountains.
Style, northern New England,
Yeah.
but it does list materials and whatnot.
Yep.
And it does state that, the code enforcement can make exceptions to these zoning ordinances. So you may want to look, I mean, you may want, what you're really talking about potentially at first is reviewing our architectural standards section of zoning. See if you want to make any changes there. Maybe you want to tighten up something, maybe you want to update the language,
Mhm.
and you can work with, I mean, generally Liz gets on all these, as the land use consultant gets on all these working groups, because we need the professional expertise. So it could be you, a couple other members, Liz, maybe Jim or Dave
Yeah,
Noyes
yeah.
from code enforcement. And your goal is the first thing is to review our current architectural standards, and then you at the end of the process would be sometime in September, October, whether you guys want to propose a zoning amendment change. And then you come in front of the whole board and say, hey, here's our report. We think we should go forward with these changes to our zoning. And then the whole planning board talks about it, and then we have our public hearing and et cetera, et
Which would
cetera.
go in as a warrant the following March.
That's it.
Yes.
Yes,
It is Article 5, Section N, which is page 34 of our zoning.
And you will also find references to architectural standards in the site plan review regulations.
yep,
Yeah, there's a very
Definitely
good
wanna
chapter in
include
there
those.
as well.
yeah.
I think it's a good idea to just like every once in a while, like, let's take a look at what we
Yeah,
have in this
yeah,
particular
right.
section, right?
That's right, and that's what we've been doing. Yeah, I mean, and
Little by
definitely,
little.
Article 5, section.
N. Is in
Okay,
Nancy.
right, yeah, and in fact, one of the first things you may want to make sure is that the site plan review regulations are comport with what the zoning
Yeah,
says.
like
Yeah.
that.
Make sure they line up
I think they're
correctly.
consistent
Probably not.
Right.
to form a working group
No, you said there was information somewhere.
in the site plan review
I'm gonna
regulations.
email it over to you, both documents, I'm gonna send.
Subdivision.
site
Good,
plan,
okay, thank
subdivision,
you.
and zoning
Yeah,
ordinance.
those are the three Bibles, yeah. You might also, when you look at it, you may want to incorporate, like we already did deal with it a little bit, but we talked about structure. We have hopefully we'll have a new definition of structure. We have height limits. You may want to look at all of that. as
Well,
part of the
I'm
architectural
happy
review
to do
process.
so. But I don't want this to be a futile exercise, where, yeah, I can examine in tedium, but
Definitely not futile.
to, come to fruition and discuss it with everybody and say, hey, these are good ideas.
Yeah, make a recommendation.
Be super helpful to have somebody or a working group focused on that, because a lot of us don't know a ton about it.
With the goal of proposing zoning amendments for town meeting 2027. So by
Because
this
as I
fall,
look at our future, plans here, I want to make sure.
You wanna get out in
going
front of it.
forward,
absolutely.
Yeah,
that they conform
Nothing's
to
knowledge.
something that we all feel is picturesque and beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in front of the board that you can't look at. I mean, there's no applications in front of the board. So you can look at anything. That's a conceptual plan. You could consider that.
yeah, the number one on your list would be looking for consistency. That the site plan review regulations, which were updated recently, remain consistent with the zoning ordinances and are, well, consistent with the objective of keeping the town looking like a White Mountain National Forest village.
They need to recruit a couple other people from the board probably to work with you. That'd be good.
Yep, and either Jim or Dave, I think, would take an interest in what you're doing.
Jim.
Chicken.
Jim
Chippen,
Chippen,
he's the-
who is
he's
the
the-
fire chief,
Fire chief,
but he's also,
code enforcement.
that's it, code enforcement are these two individuals.
They're both super approachable and nice. And
Yes.
very knowledgeable.
Well, they'll want to join, once they find out.
Agreed.
we're getting together.
Yeah, they're not fire breathing dragons. No, they're good guys. Yeah, and you'll enjoy
John,
talking to them.
We haven't, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
No,
All
not
right,
yet.
well, then do we want to establish
I'm
That's a working
still,
group.
I'm still hoping that he will propose it.
I haven't, I will research that.
okay,
Let me
Next
start
meeting.
with the emails that Miss Emerson has
Okay.
alluded she'll send me.
I think it's a great idea.
Then the next week.
If she says she's gonna do it, you're gonna receive them.
Oh, there's that.
I told you, yeah.
Do the other board members feel this is a worthwhile venture?
Absolutely.
I do.
All right, two volunteers. You got three.
No, I think you go around the table. Do you people think that this is a good idea? Margaret?
I think it's a good idea. I think we should let John take a look at what's there and then come back and formally propose a working group.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
That's
Great.
necessary.
I think it's a good idea.
Agree, I
Yeah.
agree.
I don't
Great.
think I mean,
Why
I
not?
don't think we need it, but it's not just me.
It
What is like, architecturally pleasing is different to everyone.
is, but the point is, can
Yeah.
the purpose of such organ, and because we've been through this process a number of times, that is to be able to identify what it is that we're trying to accomplish and to enunciate it, to put language that is clear enough that will cause people to understand that you got to do that.
But I don't want to beat a dead horse. If it's already established there and people are pleased with it, that's okay too.
Take a
By
look
no
at-
means. You've seen already what has happened. It is,
Well,
You know,
you just alluded to
applications
the
be-
2018 situation where
Yeah.
unfortunately you made us.
But that's always the risk. that
Different
gets
board.
turned down.
Yeah.
Difference
yeah.
of eyes is always good to review
Right.
regulations because you pick up on different things because of people's backgrounds. So it's always.
And you're also entitled to your opinion, and if you think they need to be changed, then let's discuss
Discuss
it.
it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea because years ago, years and years ago, when I first moved here, there was a color ordinance for buildings.
Colors found in
There was
nature.
no vinyl that was allowed to be used.
Well, no, I just get that feeling after
So there's
speaking.
things that you could look into, I think that would clear things up.
You know, again, I balance financial, with what's feasible, because obviously that's an important aspect for consumers, I guess you could say, or residents. But, even after speaking to the late Mark, it seems like the Wild West and that there are no, laissez-faire type of, whatever, and then you run into a problem like you had in 2018. Well, we didn't have any regulations in place, so we kind of screwed ourselves. And I don't want to see that happen,
Well, that
particularly
was
since we have
more
a huge,
misinformation and disinformation.
huge plan in place.
I'd like you to
Going
repeat
forward.
that. You weren't listening when,
I think that outcome was a result of misinformation and perhaps disinformation. That's my own personal.
I don't know the
opinion.
personal behind it.
no, but it was, the power of social media had not been elucidated.
And that wasn't the only instance of such a thing. Not all zoning amendments pass.
Things
no
like
matter
that
how
now
good they
are,
are.
look,
Even if it's state required. Yep, sometimes they just vote against
They
it.
vote against it, but that's. just-
Say la vie.
now we've
They use
seen,
an
and
expression involving wind, but I'll just.
yeah, you've seen since then examples of
I got it.
canceled, like, accusations are made, it doesn't have to be true. You just have to
Absolutely.
accuse somebody and
Right.
like, presto, you're canceled.
Yeah,
Those sort of things are now part of our world.
I'll have to talk to you some future
Yeah,
about that.
Do I hear a motion?
I move we adjourn the meeting.
I just want to
Wait.
confirm there's no correspondence, right?
No,
Okay.
you're
I
quite
second.
right about that, but no, I didn't, I've got enough paper here already, but no, there's no correspondence.
Thank you for joining us on Zoom.
Bye, Mike. Good night, Nancy.
Unanimous.
Yeah, no, wait. I heard a motion, but I didn't hear a second.
I seconded